So you've got that really important job interview that you're looking to prepare for. And for some people, it's a real stressful situation. For others, they love it. But here's some tips from us to help you prepare to the best of your ability and hopefully set you apart from all the other candidates in the mix. So firstly is preparation. It's really important that you prepare as much as you can. Make sure you take the time to research the company. Look at their vlogs, blogs, any news articles about them. Look on LinkedIn at the people that are going to be interviewing you. And also read through the job description thoroughly. Make sure you're aware of the skills and attributes they're looking for in an individual. But don't over prepare. Maximum of 1 hour doing this preparation. That will do. Sometimes you can over prepare. And what that's going to do is it's just going to cause unnecessary and undue stress. So focus, concentrated preparing time. Not too much, not too little. Number 2, planning and preparation. Nobody likes to be flustered. Nobody likes to rush. So make sure you really plan your journey to the interview to the nth degree. Make sure that you're factoring in things like public transport where there could be issues, or parking. How long is it going to take you to park? Will there definitely be space? Can you walk there in time? Always I'd advise being there 10 minutes early minimum for an interview, because punctuality is the first thing they're going to be assessing you on. And if you're late, you may as well not bother. Get there half an hour or so early and then just sit in a cafe, have a brew, if you're there a bit earlier, grab a bite to eat. But what it will do is it just gives you that bit of time to sit down, relax and decompress. So you're not going to be hot, sweaty or flustered going into that interview. And number 3, dress the part. Now, I'm not saying wear a 3-piece suit to every interview. However, always dress one level above the one that you're going to be wearing on a day-to-day basis. So if you are going to be wearing a suit on a day-to-day basis, then obviously you're going to mimic that. If you're going to be wearing, though, workwear, t-shirt, work bottoms, then something with a collar and smart trousers, chinos, or worst case scenario, smart jeans. We're going to do some more content on what to wear for interviews, but one level up, you can't go far wrong. Research what is one level up. Look on the website. Look on their social media profiles. It will show pictures of people working or the day-to-day in the office. So you will be able to get a quick understanding of what it actually looks like working for that business. And that way you can use that as your benchmark for what to wear. Number 4, it's a secret icebreaker. Most people think the first question or challenge you're going to face is that tell me about yourself question, which absolutely it's a question in the recruitment world and certainly in interviewing. And I know that some people find that really daunting. However, the first question you're probably actually going to get is how are you? Which a lot of people don't utilize to its full potential. This is really a good opportunity for you to start building some rapport or common ground with the people that you're meeting. So don't just say, yeah, fine, thanks. How are you? Tell them about your evening or your weekend or your journey, something to start building rapport and showing them that you are a natural when it comes to, forging relationships. Because regardless of the role, the ability to forge relationships is going to be key. Even if it's saying, oh yeah, I just watched the football last night, tell them about it, because what you're doing is you're warming them up, ready for when you get into the interview. They'll automatically feel more relaxed speaking to you, and hopefully you will then start to get into that rhythm and feel relaxed speaking to them. So number 5, plan and prepare answers for questions that you think might come up. So the majority of interviews now are competency-based interviews, which is where they're going to be asking things like, tell me about a time when. For this, then, you're going to want to utilize the STAR technique. Sure, there's loads of content about the STAR technique out there, but for those that don't know, it's situation, task, action, and result. What you're doing is you're painting a really vivid picture. The situation is, where were you working? What was your job role? Why were you in this situation? The task, obviously, does what it says on the tin. What task was set out in front of you? What did you want to achieve? What was your ultimate goal? The action, you want to talk about actions that you specifically took. This is the one time we're being a little bit selfish, a little bit arrogant, because what you need to be doing is selling what you brought to the party and what you did, because we're really selling the virtues of you, not the team. So talk about things saying I rather than we. So it really demonstrates your input to the task. And then obviously the result. What was achieved because of your individual input, whether that be a fixed outcome or revenue generation or business progress or even something more holistic like somebody's personal development. But it should always be some sort of progressive, positive outcome. What you need to do for this, though, is make sure that you're not just winging it when you're in there, and start looking through that job description at what skills are required for the job, what tasks or roles are required within that job. So you can start thinking, okay, right, if they want somebody to do X, it's a fair assumption they're going to ask a question about that. So have that in your locker. Start thinking about what skills are really essential for the job and how you've got examples about how you can demonstrate that you can utilize those skills. And number 6 is have questions. Now, stock generic thing that everyone would have heard already is ask questions at the end of the interview. It's a no-brainer, but it needs to be high value questions. Remember, this is your opportunity to interview them as well and find out, are they your next employer? You need to make sure there's a right fit for you in terms of culture, working environment, job role, whatever is important to you. So ask meaningful questions. And I'm not talking about when will I hear back from this interview. Start thinking about stuff that's going to be more in depth and more important to you. It could be about culture, visions, values, policy. It could be more specifics around training, or things that are genuinely passions to you. For myself, I would always ask employers about, how do you support veterans? Are you a member of the Armed Forces Covenant? But it needs to be something that really demonstrates what's important to you, because again, this is what they're going to remember you for, because it's the last interaction you're going to have with them in the interview. So you need to leave them feeling like there's some real meat on the bone. And lastly is follow up. So lots of people will walk skipping merrily down the road once they finish the interview, and that'll be that. But always drop a quick text or an email thanking them for their time. They've taken time out of their day to see you, after all, for the interview. But also comment on specific things. I really enjoyed speaking about X, or I found it really interesting when you and Johnny spoke about this key goal or this ambition for the company. It shows, number one, that you are interested, but it also shows that you were listening and that you are able to take on board information. So hopefully those tips are helpful for you. Ultimately, you need to just try and relax as much as possible and be yourself during the interview. Ultimately, they're buying into you. They've seen something in you on paper or maybe on the telephone that they want to know more about. So pour out your heart into it, show them some passion and give it your best.